If today's biggest stress was getting out of J.H.R.S parking lot, I've had a good day. Hey guys, this is Jace and welcome to episode 155 of my road show. Got a lot of stuff to get into, let's get right into it. Just to let you know, it might sound a little different for this show just because I have the microphone on and I'm using noise canceling. The reason why is because of all the people driving up and down Main Street and the truckers going down the hill with their Jake brakes on, and just there's so much mass pandemonium going on outside. I just didn't want to chance it, so we're going to use the mics today. When I got in, we were waiting on an order, so I had to kind of hang out for that. So I did the whole let's do piddly crap to the truck again. And of course, I got wrapped up in it, and I didn't leave until almost 10 o'clock. And it's like, I keep doing this to myself. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Why, self? Why? Good morning, everybody. Going to be a pretty standard Monday, Tuesday route today. That time I saved myself last week from having to drive all the way to Paonia is going to come in handy today. Yeah, we're leaving kind of late, but we don't have a lot on the truck. Week number 3 where there's no Telluride. So it's going to be over Red Mountain Pass again tomorrow. My first stop in Buena Vista today. I keep wanting to call it Buena Vista. You can't call it Buena Vista because people in Buena Vista look at you and go, it's Buena Vista. Man, when my Texas ass first moved out here, I was so confused because there's a lot of Spanish names. The Front Range used to be Mexico, and then the United States government bought it away from Mexico, so it retains all of its Spanish names, but they don't retain any of the Spanish pronunciations. You know, I was walking around going, oh, it's Aguache, it's Buena Vista, it's Pueblo, it's, you know, and all this other crap. And I was getting corrected left and right. And I'm like, what? What's wrong with you people? The entirety of the population of Colorado are freaking mavericks, and they're going to do the shit the way they want to do it. So there's that. Anyway, speaking of Buena Vista, my first stop is there. And it's a open the trailer door and pull it off the thing and hand it to somebody. So that'll be super quick. Crested Butte is a hand wrap, so that'll be super quick. I really haven't heard anything about the fire, so there shouldn't be any problem getting out there. As I was climbing US 285 into Morrison, I saw this big, huge accident involving 2 vehicles, and both of those vehicles were freaking mangled. And I'm talking mangled. Like, holy crap, I hope somebody survived out of both of those vehicles mangled. They had eastbound shut down. They were diverting traffic. It was nuts. Oh, crap. Dude, that has got to be the most jacked up car I think I've... Oh, Jesus. Wow. Those are 2 of the most jacked up cars I think I've ever seen in my life. And both of those cars have had to have been going like 140 miles an hour to do that. That is an insane amount of damage.
No, that's a lot of damage.
I think the only time I've ever seen a vehicle messed up worse than that is when it's been through the crusher. I ain't ever seen no crap like that. Jeez. I was gonna pop into the fuel station in Johnson's Village, and there was so much RVs just blocking all of the diesel lanes. I'm like, no, nobody, nope. There were cars and people, and just like, wow, okay. Yeah, I'll pass. You know, it's not imperative that I get fuel, so I just kind of wanted to stop and, you know, top off and go to the bathroom, get a fountain Dr. Pepper, you know, that kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, bruh. I don't want none of that smoke down there. Oh, no, no, no. Every gas station that I have passed has got every pump occupied and at least 3 or 4 people waiting on pumps. I'm just, holy crap. We are infested today. Infested. As I'm getting ready to start climbing Monarch Pass, I'm looking at what time it is and I feel pretty good about getting to Delta today. But just as the day wears on, the chances get slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. And especially on the upside and the downside of Monarch Pass, I encounter a lot of trucks and slow traffic, and that wiped out my chances of being in Delta. This RV up in front of us says torque in real big letters on the back. That reminds me of a Facebook post that I put up probably 7-8 years ago. I was talking crap about that kind of thing because at that point in time, it was fashionable to have like all these cool sounding words on the sides of your RV. Things like momentum and octane and earthquake, tornado, tsunami, you know, that kind of thing. And one of my coworkers, well, he used to be one of my actually, I have to back up. He's been my coworker twice. He worked with me at Home Depot, and then he worked with me here, and he toddled off and did something else, but we still kept in touch. But anyway, getting off track, it was the most poignant thing that J.H.R.S had ever said to me, at least. He said, if you're gonna own a plain tan fifth wheel trailer with brown tribal graphics all over it, that looks like literally everyone else's plain tan fifth wheel trailer with brown tribal graphics all over it, the least you can do is name it something cool. I remember commenting back, holy crap, man, that is literally the best explanation I've ever heard. Maybe the better idea would be to paint it in a garish color and then name it something dangerous like precipice, mother-in-law, double black diamond, dental appointment, Dallas Cowboy fan, malpractice, laundromat on Sunday, female police officer, joint bank account, obnoxiously hot chick at the dive bar. This fucking guy. And before you spam my comment section with hate mail, they're jokes, man. They're jokes. That last receiver was pretty unclear on the concept. His unit was a flat unit, and I had hand wraps on top of him. And I get unstrapped. He picks up his unit with the stuff on top of it and starts toddling off to like this warehouse on the other side of the yard. And I didn't really realize what was going on. And I was trying to do something on the other side of the truck. And by the time I turned around a couple of times, I'm like, where's the stuff that was supposed to come back? He's like, oh, I thought that was all ours. I said, I pointed to your unit, this one here, and I just figured he'd be smart enough to know that, you know, it's labeled for another lumber yard, and it was prominently displayed. I don't know, man, some people's children. We are leaving Gunnison. It is currently straight up 4 o'clock, so we wouldn't get to Delta until after like 5:15. Not even gonna worry about it. We're gonna stop short in Montrose. We're gonna spend the night. We're gonna eat a Cali Temptation burger, get up in the morning, and just get my rounds done. So I'm gonna turn all this off, get wrapped up in my audiobook, and I'll see you in Montrose. Tomorrow's stops are, I have to drive to Delta, drop some stuff off. I have 2 here in town, over Red Mountain Pass, 1 in Durango, 1 in Pagosa Springs, and then I can go home. Anyway, that's all I've got for you tonight. I will see you in the next one.